Yo, what's going on? This is your boy Ray Mabry coming to you live here with the one and the only Raphael Vargas. I'm here live in DC. We're going to jump right in, guys. This guy is crushing it. For those of you that may not know him, he's only 24 years old, 24, and he's creating business. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Mr. Raphael Vargas.
Thank you, my friend, Ray Mabry. First of all, I want to say shout out to Ray Mabry. It's really an honor to have him over here at the Ace Equity Pros headquarters in Washington, D.C. Before we get started, does everyone hear us okay? I want to make sure you guys hear us okay. Can you say just yes if you guys can hear us okay? Make sure you guys can hear us. So make sure we come if we can project loud enough.
Made it. Yep.
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. I'm excited, man. You got a lot of people on this Periscope. Guys, this is going to be an amazing Periscope on how I actually started my real estate investment business when I was 21 years old with zero money, and how it actually ramped up to the level that it's on to a seven-figure, multi-million-dollar business, which is going to be this year. So, without further ado, this great guy, Ray Mabry, he's dominating it in the North Carolina area. And so without further ado,
all right,
Ray Mabry, let's get
what we're going to do, I'm
started.
just going to ask Raphael a few questions, and he's going to kind of go into it. So the first question I want to ask you, Raphael, is, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your history. Did you go to college, or if not, what did you do after high school? Just kind of give us a little background before real estate.
Okay, so before real estate, I had a humongous sales background. So really big sales background. I did a lot of marketing for people. I think sales, first of all, I think sales is like the foundation of success. If you can sell anybody on yourself, on concepts, that's one of the biggest things to actual success. Because if you can sell a crayon, you can sell yourself, you can sell properties, right?
That's right.
And so I had a huge success in sales. I had a lot of experience in that in the past. Pretty much, did I go to college? I did not, man.
Okay.
I did not go to college, man. I couldn't actually afford college, man, to be honest. When I started when I was 21, I was involved in a lot of really just negative things, growing up in my life. And I got fired from many jobs. I was going through a huge downslope, man. And, I got introduced to real estate investing by a coach.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the coach wasn't everything he said he was going to be. He actually took my $3,000 investment. And when he took that investment, it kind of just killed me. But it really just put me in the mentality to just take off and start learning everything myself. Because, guys, there's so much information online that you can just get free information online. You don't have to pay for coaches, but coaching will really elevate you and put you to the next level, as you know.
Raphael just made a key point. He realized that he needed some help. He needed some assistance. Now, unfortunately, the person that he reached out to was a crook, a criminal, scammer, whatever you want to refer to it as, but it didn't stop him. He didn't blame somebody for losing that money. What he did was he shifted gears and he kept it going, all right? So tell us more about when you did reach the person or come in contact with the person that you end up showing you how to get the business. How did that work out? How did you get from there to here?
Exactly. So, obviously when you get robbed from a coach, you get really reserved. You don't want to invest in coaches. You don't want to invest in people any longer. And so, I got really reserved for a long period of time, and it was a really hard struggle just because I was just shut off from actually getting in touch with coaches, and building, a relationship with coaches and learning faster from coaches.
Okay.
But, when I actually did get plugged up with a coach, the right coach, the right coach, obviously we're talking about the right coach, it blew me up. It blew me up to the next level. And the thing is, what I want to stress is that there's no such thing as one coach to teach you everything. There are multiple coaches. Once I found that one coach, I realized how valuable it is, and now I'm investing over $80,000 a year in coaches, mentorships, programs, and I'm looking literally every day for ways that I can invest more and more money into coaches, into programs, into events. And so, guys, it's very powerful. Understand that.
And see, listen, he just said something else too. Make sure you guys are taking notes and stuff too, and because you have someone here that has a proven system that's working. This guy is making 7 figures in real estate in a short period of time. He's 3 years into this industry, and he's already at the 7-figure mark. So what he's saying works. So listen to what he's sharing with you. And one thing he just said is he's reinvesting back into his business. He's reinvesting back into his mindset. It's not just a one and done. Raphael just said he has multiple coaches and mentors. So that's super, super important. All right, so Raphael, a lot of people want to know, because I get asked this question all the time, what's your secret? What's your secret to success, if there is a secret? Share your secret.
Man, to be honest, I'm going to be honest. God is one of my biggest secrets. Right. God is one of my biggest reasons. I think having the right mentality is the secret to success. Once you have the right mentality that nothing can break you down, you have faith of a mustard seed, but then it just turns in and moves mountains, and you're just able to just achieve on great levels no matter what you see is going on in the current situation of your life. When you have faith and you consistently persist through whatever obstacle you're going through, because I've been through a lot. Mm-hmm. I've been financially broke. My mother is financially unstable. My brother's mentally disabled. My father is not in the picture whatsoever. And so I was that burden to really take my whole family and push them to the next level and take them to financial success. And that's what I've been able to do. And so, like I said, without the Lord, to be honest, that's my secret. I wouldn't be here today. And He gives me purpose and vision. And with purpose is the secret. When you have a real purpose, a real reason why, you can't be stopped. To be honest, you can't be stopped.
I'm telling you guys, that's golden. What Raphael just shared. It does come down to your faith. And I know some people got different religions and stuff that's represented here, but it does come down to your faith and your beliefs and stuff. But he also said too that he wasn't a product of his environment. See, he could have used that as an excuse to say, my father's not in my life. Or, this is going on where, there's some things not working right for my mother or my brother and stuff. But he did not let that be an excuse. He did not let that stop him. He kept moving forward, okay? And so keep that in mind, guys, because we all go through stuff. We all go through tests, trials, and tribulations. But the strong, how they say the strong survive? I'm telling you, it's so important to make sure you don't let things stop you. Exactly. So now you've been in this business for 3 years as a real estate investor. You here? We are located here in the DC area, and he focuses in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. How is this market when it comes to wholesaling there? Because I know this is a very competitive market, but some folks may be coming from Los Angeles, Tampa, some of Dallas and Denver, some of these very competitive places like Arizona. So how are you able to rise above your competitors in this competitive market?
First of all, that's a great question. I would, first of all, before I get into that, I would suggest everyone here reads the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Yep. Talks a lot about competition and how there is no competition. First of all, there's so much abundance in this world that there is no competition. Everyone is able to win. That's right. Second thing is it also talks about domination, dominating a market. So the question really is, how do we dominate a market? Because this is one of the most competitive markets in the United States. Yeah. I think there was a record done that California was number one as far as highest gross profits per deal, and then DC was number two. Average, I think, in certain areas of DC was like $200,000 gross profits. So huge profits, which is the kind of deals we've done. We've done $300,000 deals, $250,000. And so the question is really, how do we dominate in a competitive market? One, like I said, sales. You need to understand sales skills. And there's so many programs that I went through, so many programs that people have gone through, that you can go through to understand sales so that when you get those calls from sellers, you sell them on yourself, onto why they need to do business with you. Okay. And then you also get them at a lower price than your competitors. Second thing is on marketing. We have amazing secret marketing strategies that a lot of people don't do, man, to be honest. You know what? Grant Cardone says pick up the phones, make calls. A lot of people aren't doing that. That's right. Guess what? We make over 25,000 cold calls a month. 25,000 a month. And so guess what? None of our competitors are doing that. And I guarantee you in your market and in your market as well, a lot of competitors are not doing that as well. So that's what really separates us and gets us those huge deals. And that's how we blow past our competition.
So you're telling me with 25,000 phone calls, that's a lot of no's. That's a whole lot of no's because it's all about percentages. Yeah. So how do you teach your team how to get past the no's? Because that's a lot of rejection.
That's a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
Well, we built amazing scripts, man, and just put everything together, the right scripts, and just added that persistence. Like I said, leadership. On a Periscope I did earlier today, promoting this, I talked about leadership. Leadership is one of the most important things to business success. If you're the leader in the business, you need to instill your mentality into everybody. And so if I'm persistent, anybody I hire is going to be persistent, or we're going to train them to be the same way. And so guess what? They're going to go through a lot of no's until we get those yeses. And when we get those yeses, it's big paydays.
That's it.
That's it. And closer to our purpose and vision.
Yeah, and so, obviously, Raphael, he's referring to his team that he has, created, to grow this business around him. But he also said another key point as far as being the leader. This business is not going to go any higher than he allows it to go. So you got to be right. If you go out here wanting to create a 6-figure and a 7-figure business, you got to get your mindset right. You got to go out here and get this training and coaching and know what you need to do first, and then bring people in and plug them into your system. So you got to make sure you're right. You got to invest in that, guys. Raphael just said he spends $80,000 a year in mentorship, coaching, training, getting himself better. And as a result, he has a 7-figure business. So this stuff is not by accident. All right, so Raphael, next question. Let's talk about your team and stuff. What is that? How does that look? What kind of people do you have on your team, and who do you hire first too? When you build your team.
That's a great question. I think a lot of people have different answers to who they hire first. Mm-hmm. For me, the first person I hired was my COO, my integrator.
Okay.
So there's a book called Traction that everyone here that's actually building a business that has multiple layers to it needs to read. In Traction, it goes visionary, which is pretty much the leader, the CEO, the COO called the integrator, and then everybody below that. Okay. The COO's job is to manage everybody, right? Once you've mastered wholesaling and you've done personally deals by yourself, what you need to do is find yourself a COO, somebody that you're going to pay exceptionally well, right? Somebody that's good at managing and somebody that's good at details and that's very fast at learning. And what you do, you bring them on, and you bring them on literally as every single role in the business. You teach them all roles in the business, have them actually do that, so you literally duplicate yourself. Right? The thing is, there's a difference between the integrator and the visionary. The visionary, I'm a visionary. I lead the vision. I see the vision. I'm consistently growing the vision. I'm going towards different things, like going to different markets and how we're going to do that. Mm-hmm. My integrator, he's the manager. He's doing all the technical stuff at Podio, training with VAs, training with acquisition managers, things like that. So all the management stuff, the managing of the numbers, the managing of the marketing, that's what my COO does. That's who I would recommend that you bring in. As a leader, as a visionary, you bring in your COO first. After that, our team is basically 6 people currently. We have myself, my COO, my transaction coordinator. My transaction coordinator is the person that actually, when the contracts come in, she sells the contracts to buyers at high price points, but still they're great deals. Obviously, handles all the closing documents. If there's tenants in the properties, handles the tenants. Then we have acquisition managers. We have one full-time, one part-time, and basically acquisition manager follows up with sellers consistently. They're talking to sellers, they're looking through our CRM, they're following up with sellers on a consistent basis, and so they need to have great sales skills. And dude, our sales guys make over 6 figures a month. Like our acquisition managers make over 6 figures a year in our business, So you have to pay your people exceptionally well if you really want to step out of your business. And then the other person, 2 people that we have is sales associates. So we actually have 2 callers that are making outbound calls all day, every day, making about 1,700 calls a day, and bringing in leads and just funneling into the CRM, which then gets sent to the acquisition manager who follows up with the lead, makes the offer. And then the last person's a VA. VAs are very key, saves you a lot of time. But yeah, that's basically our team. And our systems.
So 2 questions from what you just said.
Right.
First question is, you say you have somebody that actually make calls for you, so you're not making any calls yourself?
No.
That's key too. Remember now, he's a visionary. He's has a team in place so that he doesn't have to go out here and make these calls and stuff. And the second question you said about your COO, how he basically knows what you know.
Right.
What about being concerned that he may take your company or may become your competitor? Can you kind of speak to that?
Yeah, I love your questions, man. Honestly, man, you really thought these out, man. I really like his questions. Okay, so basically, yeah, that's a great thing. And the thing you have to actually do is everything is based off of loyalty. Yep. Once you actually understand leadership and loyalty and you build somebody from nothing, they're going to be loyal to you. I took my CEO, he was like, he came from nothing as well, and I gave him the best opportunity of his lifetime, changed his life. He's living in a penthouse and he's got a nice car and he's making, a lot of money every year. And so he loves it. And the thing is, we have a brotherhood. And so that's really what bonds us and connects us to another level. I don't know how many people here know Mark Evans DM, but Mark Evans and his COO, they're like this. If you see them, like we're in the Bahamas, he was there. In the master groups, he's there. And they're like this, And so it's like, we know our strengths. He's not a visionary. I'm the visionary. I'm the leader. He knows that his leadership skills are never going to be as good as mine.
Right.
And I also know that my management skills and my technical skills will never be as good as his. And so it's a perfect harmony, and that's really what it is.
All right, somebody just asked a question about the 25,000 calls a month.
Right.
They say how many people are making those calls?
Okay, so one person makes 25 calls. So we can have each person making 50,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So one person makes 20,000 calls a month.
Okay, 20,000 calls. One person makes 20,000 calls a month.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
They make about 1,700 a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that automated, or they just picking up the phone, calling people?
Exactly. So no way. That's crazy, man. No. So we have an automated system. It's called Callfire. It actually calls 3 lines at the same time. So it just runs through numbers. As soon as you're constantly talking to people.
Okay.
Because it runs through numbers. People that don't answer, it skips. People that answer, it puts you on the line. Okay. As soon as you hang up, another one answers, another one. So they're consistently active on the phone, which is very powerful.
Okay. So that's another key point. Callfire, CALL. Fire, FIRE.com. Callfire. Look it up. That's a great tool to have in your business. Let's talk about ministry. You have a team and stuff, and you say you have a team of 6. I know every day is not a great day. There's sometimes going to be some conflict. So how do you handle conflict resolution? Who's in charge of that, and what happens when the conflict might be between you and one of your employees? How do you handle conflict?
That's a very good question. Now, when you say conflict, I mean, something that I've really been learning more from my buddy Mark Evans is like data, not drama.
Yep.
Like we should not be looking and talking about drama and focus more on the data. What is the actual goals? Are you hitting your goals? That's when conflicts happen now in our business. We also have some drama. I mean, we're all human beings. There's drama in our business as well. I think the best thing is, as a leader, when I'm conflicted with them, I'm just studying on patience, studying on, people and psychology and leadership to really better my skills to actually be able to manage the drama that comes into the business and replace it with data and how we can make it, measurable type goals. And so whenever there's a problem, we're strictly talking about why our goals haven't been hit or why our goals are hit and we can't manage them properly. So it's hard though, man. Drama is difficult,
And that's another thing too. Whenever you're working with people, whether they're buyers, sellers, contractors, realtors, people on your team, you're going to have conflicts from time to time. Because like Raphael just said, people are different and we have issues and stuff come up from time to time. But you being the leader, you being the CEO of your business and your company, you got to be able to work through those things. You got to be a problem solver, not a problem maker, but a problem solver. So my next question to you, Raphael, is, you've been in this business for 3 years. You built it to the 7 figures. What's next?
That's a great question. So, we're making a lot of cash. The wholesaling is great for cash, right? Cash is great, and we have a business that's cash flowing, right? So that's powerful. That's great. Cash is great. But the thing is, it doesn't actually build wealth, assets. So what our next goals are, not only are we going to take this concept of real estate wholesaling that we've really mastered in a lot of ways, we're going to take it into different markets, but also we're going to start investing a lot of these cash profits into multifamilies, single family rentals. We're already building our portfolio of single family rentals in certain markets with high cap rates. And that's after that is development. We're probably going to get into our first development project hopefully this year in DC. DC's blowing up with development, and we know how to get good deals. So we're probably going to start with our first development project hopefully this year. And that's pretty much all we can foresee at the moment. But actually getting into our 10-year goals, I mean, we plan on being into at least 30 different markets with this wholesaling company. Producing gross average $5 million in each market. And then, I mean, the sky's the limit, guys. The sky's the limit, honestly. And you're not too young, you're not too old to start. It's never too late. You know what I mean? It never is too late.
And I totally agree with what he's saying, because it's kind of a thing to where you can get to a certain level, and sometimes people say you start smelling yourself and you start getting a big head and getting all arrogant and stuff. But I tell you, Raphael, he's a very humble guy. He's confident. And sometimes people can mistake confidence for cockiness, or cockiness for confidence, that is. But when you out here and you created something and you got a system and stuff going, guys, don't always be so quick to judge, be judgmental. Raphael, he's a great guy. He's doing it. He's only 24. Let me reiterate, 24 years old. When I was 24, I was a teacher, school teacher, and I was struggling. All right, so this guy is just so far more advanced. Somebody did ask too, Raphael, what kind of books do you read? What kind of books do you recommend? I know you mentioned Traction, but any other kind of book recommendations that you have?
Absolutely. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. I would suggest reading almost all of John Maxwell's book. He's one of the most powerful writers, in my opinion. So John Maxwell books all the way, support him all the way. He's very big on purpose. He's very big on spirituality. He's very big on leadership. He's the leadership mogul. And so I read a lot of John Maxwell. I also read Traction. I'm going to say this millions of times. Traction is one of the most powerful business building books that you can read. Another great book on fearlessness is called The 50th Law, written by 50 Cent and Robert Greene. That book will really teach you fearlessness. Like, you know, the good thing about me is that I'm very street smart because I come from the streets, and that transitioned very well into business as far as fearlessness. And 50 Cent actually talks a lot about the same kind of experience, street smart, going into business, and how fearlessness is one of the keys to success. You know what I mean? Understanding fearlessness. So The 50th Law by Robert Greene and 50 Cent. I mean, there's so many. Another book I'd recommend is, you know, The 7 Highly Effective, by Stephen Covey. 7 Effective Habits of Highly Effective People. That's it. That's a great book on productivity. 10X by Grant Cardone. That's a great book on productivity. And so, guys, the most important thing, and something that I've learned, is just massive action. Like, we need to be taking massive action on a daily basis. What's really going to get us to our goals, and what are those tasks that are really going to produce us, getting us closer to our goals. And so massive action is key, absolutely key. So.
I think somebody else asked too, as far as, can you kind of break down what you do? I know you're the visionary, but what's your schedule like on a daily basis or on a weekly basis?
So my schedule is like, you know, for example, I have a lot of relationships with very high net worth individuals, you know, multi-millionaires, people that sold companies for 200 million, 300 million. My biggest thing is relationship building with these high net worth individuals on a consistent level. For 1, private money. For 2, partnerships. For 3, leverage as to how they got to their wealth and learning from them. Also, just being surrounded with that just brings me to a higher level of consciousness, higher level of thinking, and then I can then bring that to the team, and so everyone is then lifted up. I also bring, you know, I have meetings consistently with multi-millionaires at our office every single day, you know, that my team can introduce. We talk partnerships, we talk solutions, multifamily investing. I'm also studying a lot about multifamily investing, going to events, things like that. Also, you know, putting out fires. If there's huge fires in the business that, you know, my COO cannot handle, then I have to jump in and I'll put out fires as well. But I'm also doing a lot of training and really a lot mental training for my team. That's really what my day-to-day consists of now.
And somebody did ask too, your morning routine. So when you get up in the morning, what do you do to get your day started off right?
I love that. So the first thing I do, I wake up and I'm extremely thankful. That's the first thing. So I'll pray. I'm extremely thankful. I wake up early. I don't hit the gym. I hit the gym actually in the evening time. I lift better in the evening time. I enjoy it the evening time more. But I wake up, I'm extremely thankful, I'm smiling, and I think about my brother, and I think about my mother. That's one of the first things that I think about. It replenishes me on my why, and that immediately gets my drive going. I mean, and then after that, it's just go time. You know what I mean? It's focus, it's go time, it's you know, setting our rocks on traction. It's big on what are our 90-day goals. And so, you know, something that I also do throughout my day is review what our goals are for our 90-day goals, and we're consistently hitting those, the most important things. And so that's really big.
And I'm big on the 90-day goals too, but can you kind of like expound on that a little bit?
Absolutely.
Why 90 days? Why not 30 days or 6 months or 12 months? Why 90 days?
So once you guys get into traction, you'll understand why it's 90 days. So basically, when you actually get into traction, you actually have meetings with your team every week. Every single week we're having meetings with our team. We're looking over our business. We're looking over our scorecards, how many calls were made, how many offers were made, how many contacts did we make, how many leads did we generate from different marketing campaigns. So every week we're running through these numbers, and then we're also tackling issues that are in the business. Whatever the issues are in the business, we start tackling them consistently, right? And so when those issues come up, we then say, okay, we resolve the issue right there this week, and we put them as to-dos for the week, or they're huge issues, and it's like, okay, this has to be a rock a 90-day goal. And then as a 90-day goal, we then have steps to get us through every week that have to be done to get us closer to the 90-day goals. An example for one of our 90-day goals was actually moving offices. So we're over here in Washington, D.C. in my office, but we're getting a 2,600 square foot office in Alexandria. You know, and literally the rock was set for the beginning of January, and we need it done in March. And so there's goals every week and to-dos every week to get us closer to that 90-day rock, you know? And so that's basically what it is, you know? So this is actually a copy of it so you can see.
Okay.
But, you know, these are examples.
And
so you got to track this stuff, you know?
He has system now. He has some great systems. Matter of fact, somebody asked too about getting in contact with you. Do you do any kind of coaching or training? So
absolutely.
I know he has an event coming up. So can you kind of share a little more information?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for this event, guys, because it's the first event I'm actually doing. The thing is, I don't plan on doing coaching long term. I don't have a vision or a goal for it yet, but I am doing it this time because I enjoy it. I really enjoy giving back because I didn't have anybody to really teach me all these things when I was coming up. And so I'm doing an event. It's $5,000. It's called a hot seat event. There's going to be people coming from all over the United States. It's going to be very powerful. They're going to get copies of our Podio, our CRM, custom-made CRM system that we spent tens of thousands of dollars on. They're going to get copies of our scorecards, learn actually how to build a real estate investing business. And it's going to be really powerful, man. It's going to be March 5th and 6th. If you guys want to get in contact with me, I'm actually going to write it on the board. Actually, I'll write it up. It's Raphael at aceequitypros.com. Let me write this up right here.
And just so you know, for those of you that may not be familiar with what a CRM is, it's just basically like a database, customer relationship management tool. It's just a way to keep you organized because you got to be able to track your marketing, track your calls and stuff. And so, as I stated earlier, Raphael, he's a pro at that. You know, that's what, matter of fact, he has pro in the name of his company. You know, so he's a pro at it. All right, guys. And so he's writing his contact information, and we'll zoom into it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but we'll definitely zoom into it. Make sure you contact him. Make sure you're following Raphael as well. So somebody put his his Periscope handle up, please. And make sure you're following Raphael because I'm telling you, he's a great guy to be in contact. Somebody did ask too when you mentioned something about the millionaires. How did you get in contact with the millionaires? How did you meet those millionaires?
Man, that's a great question. One is forming relationships. You have to go to a lot of REI meetup groups. I mean, when you first get started in this business, I don't know how many experienced people we have, but when you first get started in this business, I mean, you have to do everything, which means going to REI groups, putting up bandit signs, doing direct mail, calling people, knocking on doors. I was doing it all. And so when you take massive action, you get closer and closer to the goals, and you know it starts attracting into your life. And so I would say REI meetup groups is a great place. That's one of the best places, honestly. And then actually networking based off of those relationships.
All right. So somebody asked me, was I going to the hot seat? And the only reason I'm not going to the hot seat is because that's the same weekend I'm going to be down in Florida at Mark Evans' event. And then that's on the Thursday, Friday. And then that weekend I do have a guy that was in my wedding, my best man. He lives in that area, so I'm going to visit him. So unfortunately, I will not be able to be at the hot seat. But other than that, I will be here learning from this guy because I'm telling you guys, it's all about abundance. And here's another thing too that I shared earlier this morning, I share again. Look, there's no competition here, all right? We're collaborating. We're talking about something that we enjoy doing. And that's one of the things that when you have this abundant mindset, you don't look at each other as competition, all right? Because we're here to grow. We're here to go out here and have an impact on society, on our families and stuff. And so you can't look at it as I'm just going to be tight-lipped and you know, I'm not going to tell him something because he may go out here and get this deal and I may not get. Guys, that's not abundance. That's not abundance. It's going to hold you back and stuff too. So,
absolutely.
You know, Raphael's giving it up. I mean, he's sharing up his time. He's a very busy guy, so I appreciate him taking his time to meet with me. Somebody did mention they wanted us to zoom into your contact information. We'll do that before we log off, but go ahead and ask a few more questions, and we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up because we've been going for 30 minutes now. Yeah. So if you have any questions, go ahead and get the questions. How much was a hot seat? Somebody asked about a hot seat, the price.
It's $5,000. $5,000.
Okay, what words, advice, advice starting the Ralph? Advice to starting the Ralph. All right, what words of advice would you, I don't understand your question. How can I get started? Somebody asked, how can I get started? Yeah, you can speak those.
How you can get started is, just start somewhere. You know, honestly, the biggest thing is people get engulfed in so much information. They're on Periscope watching everybody. They're on YouTube looking at everybody. Don't get engulfed in excess of information. Guys, just get started. Start taking massive action. Start calling sellers. Make mistakes. Fail forward. Fail forward. I failed so many times. I did not get my first deal for 7 months. Fail forward, but if you want to get faster, you need to have a coach. You need to find a coach. Somebody that I'd recommend for somebody that's never, ever done a deal or knows nothing about real estate. Sean Terry is a great beginner, right? For higher level stuff, you're going to want to talk to me, talk to other people for higher level things. But if you've never done a deal, guys, get coaching. It's a $2,000 investment for Sean Terry. I'd recommend him 150%. He's got great information. Absolutely.
Okay. So, somebody asked me, we're realtors. Are you licensed?
Yes.
Okay, so he's a realtor. I'm not a realtor.
Inactive.
Okay, so he's licensed, but he's inactive. So he's not out here taking listings and stuff. He has his own business, his own company, so he's not showing properties and stuff. As for myself, I'm not licensed. I'm not a realtor. About networking. Okay, what's the best wholesaling coach? Well, you have to do your research on that, but he did give a great resource, Sean Terry. He's a great Cody Sperber. You got Chris Bruce. You got myself. You got Ray Mabry.
Yeah, he's a great coach. This guy's a great coach.
Yeah, you got my man Raphael, which he said he doesn't do a lot of the low level coaching, but you just have to pick somebody that you resonate with, guys. Okay, that's the main thing. Sean Terry, SEAN, Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
All right, Sean Terry's in Arizona, and Cody Sperber, the clever investor, he's also in Arizona. Nice call for sale. Okay, are there any more questions? Because we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. What Podio system do you use and why?
We built our own custom Podio system, but we've bought Sean Terry's, Todd Tobe. We bought every single body's Podio system for real estate investing there is. We literally combined it all together and we leveraged it for an actual business based off of traction. And so, this Podio is really, really high level. Joe the Flip King, I don't know how many people know Joe the Flip King. Shout out to Joe. He actually came all the way from DC just to get this Podio system once he actually saw it. It's extremely powerful for higher level people that are managing teams and running teams and tracking numbers. So it's very high level.
Okay, so some people ask about the hot seat. Where is it and then what is it? So somebody asked, what is the hot seat and then where is it going to be located?
The hot seat is actually going to be located right here in Washington, D.C. Let me show them real quick exactly where it's going to be. So it's actually going to be literally right there in Washington, D.C. That's exactly where we're going to be having the hot seat. So it's in Washington, D.C. It's March 5th and 6th. So be sure to join. If you want to get some information on it, we're going to go ahead and show the exact way to get in contact with me directly so that you can join the hot seat. So yeah. Let me actually, guys, watch the Periscope. I'm going to type in what my email address is so you guys have it as well.
Yeah, and while he's doing that, look, guys, I really do appreciate you taking the time to come and listen to us live today, and even replay viewers if you take the time to take a look at it. We do appreciate that because remember, I always say your time is your most valuable asset. And so whenever you take the time out of your busy schedule to hear us talk about real estate, something we're passionate about, we don't take that lightly. And as I shared with Raphael, I appreciate him taking time for me to be able to interview him about his business and how he's set up. And so, he's a guy that's on fire. He's doing some great things. And I'm just super excited for him. I'm just I'm glad to make the connection. And I'm excited to watch his journey. Remember, 24 now. Let me do the 2, 4. That's how old he is. 24 years old. And so regardless of where you are, don't look at it as you being too young. This guy's talking to millionaires every day. And some of them may question, his age, but when they start talking to him, they'll realize, hey, this is not your average 24-year-old. All right? So anyways, any last things you want to say, Raphael, before we wrap it up?
No, man, I just say get started. Get started immediately. Get off this Periscope and get started, honestly. Don't fill yourself again with so much information. Start taking massive levels of action and fail forward. Don't think you have to get it perfect before you start. Yeah. No one gets it perfect before they start. I think you know that as well.
That's right.
After getting started in real estate, no one gets it perfect before they start.
Yep.
We just start.
Yep.
And once we start, we fail forward and we learn from our mistakes and keep growing. That's how it's going to grow exponentially. That's how I grew so quickly. That's how you grew so quickly too. You've only been in the business 2 years.
Yep.
By actually taking action and doing the steps to get closer to our vision and dreams.
There you have it. Words from a millionaire, guys. Just remember this name, Raphael Vargas. And he typed in his information as far as how to reach out to him. Make sure you connect with him.
Absolutely.
If nothing else, follow him on Periscope because he comes on a weekly basis and he does trainings and stuff on his system and everything. And keep in mind too, when it comes to failure, remember, use that failure as feedback. Feedback, okay? It's not a failure if you learn something from it. And you keep moving forward, you keep going. All right, so this is our time. And until next time, this is Ray Mabry. Here live with Raphael Vargas. We signing off, guys. And
real quick, let's just show them so they can take snaps of this real quick. Yeah. Let me just show them real quick. How do I flip the camera on this?
Just tap it.
Tap it?
Yeah,
once?
Tap it. Twice.
Boom. Can't get this thing rocking. There you go.
All right. Can you guys see that?
It's reverse. That's the reason why.
Oh, it is reverse?
Yeah.
Tap, tap. All right, guys. Well, anyways.
Raphael at aceequitypros.com. Make sure to contact us. Make sure to follow my boy Ray Mabry. We're going to be doing more scopes, and I'm going to be sharing more of his scopes. He says a lot of powerful information, guys.
Yeah.
Much love to everybody on this Periscope. Thank you guys for following and sharing.
All right. Until next time, we signing off.
Sign off.
Peace.